Welcome to This Explainer. Neuroscience, inclusive design, and artificial intelligence are completely rewriting how the human brain acquires language. Today, we're unpacking a really comprehensive framework, a diploma in language neurodidactics. We're going to bridge the gap between biological brain function and what actually happens in the modern classroom. Let me ask you a question. Do you teach languages the way the brain actually learns? For decades, language instruction has leaned heavily on intuition, or just plain tradition. But real acquisition, that requires immense attention, memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and executive functioning. So we're going to look at a structured approach that replaces all that guesswork with hard neuroscientific evidence. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 6 distinct nodes: neuroscientific foundations, applied neurodidactics, authentic evaluation, technology and AI, classroom management, and lastly, learning ecosystems. Let's jump right into Module 1, Neuroscientific Foundations, the Brain and L2 Acquisition. Look, you really can't optimize a system if you don't understand its core engine, right? We are moving away from abstract theories here and getting into tangible biology. Think of working memory like a computer's RAM. We absolutely have to manage cognitive loads so the brain doesn't just crash from too much new information. We'll explore how language networks adapt through neuroplasticity and how spaced repetition physically alters the strength of neural connections to literally make memory stick. But before we can build effective new habits, we've got to unlearn the neuromyths that actively hinder language acquisition. I'm talking about things like strict learning styles, the whole left brain, right brain thing, or the illusion of effective multitasking. Instead, we're relying on clinical evidence like dual coding, which is simply the practice of combining verbal and visual information to basically double the chances of memory retention. Moving on to Module 2, Applied Neurodidactics, Designing Learning Experiences. Here we look at Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. UDL is all about providing multiple means of representation, action, and engagement. Simply put, it means proactively designing your classes to remove barriers without lowering your academic standards one bit. Whether a student has dyslexia, ADHD, or experiences really high anxiety, the cognitive pathways to the language remain open and accessible. By engineering your class around 3 specific biological steps, managing the input, triggering active noticing, and facilitating the output, you create a highly effective environment. The result is intensely practical. You're going to walk away with a ready-to-use, inclusive 60 to 90-minute lesson plan designed exactly for how the brain encodes new languages. All right, Module 3, Authentic Evaluation, Memory Consolidation Without Fatigue. Okay, we need a massive mindset shift here. Traditional exams usually just measure endurance, right? They trigger high anxiety, flood the brain with stress hormones, and heavily punish errors. Authentic evaluation, on the other hand, treats errors as vital data points. It provides the psychological safety necessary for the brain to transition from mere memorization to real-world transfer, all without burning the student out. Ultimately, what you'll build here is an authentic evaluation package featuring performance tasks that mimic real-life use. This is paired with a highly specific 2+1 formative feedback plan, meaning you highlight 2 strengths and 1 actionable area. This proves competence while actively protecting the student's affective filter, that emotional barrier that blocks learning entirely if it's triggered by stress or anxiety. Now for Module 4, Technology and AI, Cognitive Optimization in Learning. Let's address the elephant in the modern classroom. The goal here is absolutely not to replace the teacher. Rather, we're looking at how to responsibly harness digital tools to act as personalized cognitive tutors. We're talking about using AI to simulate role plays, provide instant feedback, and generate dynamic practice materials, all while teaching students strict digital hygiene to mitigate distractions. Application is everything here. You won't just learn the theory, you will literally engineer a teacher's AI kit. By building reusable prompts and applying a rigorous framework for ethical verification, you'll ensure data privacy and prevent bias, all while safely guiding your students through today's digital landscape. Next up, Module 5, Classroom Management, Emotional Climate, Attention, and Performance. Even the best lesson plan is going to crash and burn if the room itself triggers a stress response. Lighting, pacing, and acoustic design are literally just as critical to language retention as vocabulary drills. You'll learn to manage the delicate biological balance between dopamine, which drives motivation, and cortisol, which drives stress, alongside implementing routines to support neurodiverse learners. And this culminates into a concrete blueprint. You are developing a tangible classroom management plan filled with routines, protocols, and inclusive adjustments. You're intentionally engineering a physical and emotional environment that feels completely safe yet highly productive. Finally, Module 6, Learning Ecosystems, Applied Research and Continuous Improvement. This final module scales your new neurodidactic skills from the individual classroom up to the entire institution. By leveraging collective intelligence and PDCA cycles, that stands for Plan, Do, Check, and Act, you will use real classroom data to sustainably improve your school's flexible curricula. To wrap all this up, you won't just pass a multiple choice test. No way. You will produce a fully applicable, integrating project alongside a reflective portfolio. Whether that's redesigning a unit or building an evaluation kit, it's something that immediately impacts your real-world teaching ecosystem. So, the science is clear. We know exactly how the brain encodes language, handles cognitive load, and uses emotion to drive memory. The tools are ready. The only question left is, are you prepared to take the leap, unlearn the myths, and redesign your educational ecosystem from the brain outward?